Alright guys, in today's video we're going to cover 3 space stocks. Some of them might go to the moon, some of them might crash down like a meteor. Let's see what we got. Alright, so first one's first is Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab. Stick around to the end, maybe I'll give you a couple extras. Let's see. So Rocket Lab, we'll go off my notes here first. Rocket Lab had an operating loss of $51 million in the most recent quarter. 70% of their revenue comes from building satellite components. Their Neutron rocket is a direct competitor with the SpaceX Falcon 9, and they have a massive backlog of customers. So, you know, pretty interesting. Let's check out their charts. They're currently sitting at $68.05. No, $68.37. So they're up 1.96% today. I'm recording this on a Saturday, by the way. So that would have been Friday. Right, so you can see they're at 68.05. Their price is actually at 68.37. They're up 0.47% in the after hours. Over the past 5 days, they are up 0.8%. Over the last month, they're down 5.43%. Over the past 6 months, they're up 4.2%. No, 4.02%. Year to date, they're down 2.45%. Over the past year, they're up 246.66%. Over the past 5 years, they're up 513.06%. And that's maximum chart goes back to November 27th, and they're up 592.97%. Okay. They have a 52-week high of $99.58, a 52-week low of $18.21, a negative EPS of negative 37 cents, and 569.41 million shares outstanding and 3,000 employees. So that's pretty interesting. We're not going to dive too deep into these today. We're just going to kind of cover the charts and stuff, the basics. Let's do the next one. AST Space Mobile. So AST Space Mobile is currently sitting at $94.85. Like I said, this is Saturday. So it would have been up 3.59% on Friday. Over the past 5 days, they're up 1.61%. Over the past month, they are up 7.58%. Over the past 6 months, they're up 4.86%. Year to date, they are up 30.66%. On a 1-year chart, they're up 307.65%. On a 5-year chart, they're up 849%. And on a maximum chart, this goes back to November 1st, 2019, they're up 3,821.49%. That's AST Space Mobile. Now, AST Space Mobile, they are not profitable. They have a revenue of about $70.9 million, up from about $4 million in 2024. They're aiming to be profitable late 2027 or early 2028. Because I'm consulting paper notes here. I'm not looking at a screen and reading crap off of a screen, guys. I've looked at a screen, copied it onto paper. Now I'm reading it off of that copied paper back to you. So here we go. AST Space Mobile. Oh yeah, they do the cell service in outer space. So that's kind of an interesting technology where they're trying to basically make it where you can get cell service like how you get Starlink in like obscure like places. They're trying to make it where you can get cell service in a similar kind of way through satellite technology. So that's pretty interesting stuff. No doubt about it. So they have a 52-week high of $129.87, a 52-week low of $20.26, with a negative EPS of $1.34. They have 292.64 million shares outstanding and 1,000 employees. Interesting. Okay. Third on our list here is going to be Planet Labs, ticker symbol PL, currently sitting at $34.75. They would have been up 1.29% on Friday. Over the past 5 days, they are down 3.53%. Over the past month, they are up 36.28%. Over the past 6 months, they're up 127.34%. Year to date, they are up 75.81%. Over the past year, they're up 993.69%. Over the past 5 years, ooh, look at that. Over the past 5 years, they're up 249.5%. That's interesting. On a maximum chart, I guess it only goes back to April 30th, 2021. they're up 249.5%. Okay, so these guys, not to be confused with Rocket Lab, they are profitable. They're more of a defense and intelligence kind of deal. They operate a satellite cluster, if I'm not mistaken. They do. They operate a big satellite cluster, constellation they call it. So here we go. They have a 52-week high of $38.21, a 52-week low of $2.92. This is showing a negative EPS of negative 80 cents with a 322.66 million shares outstanding and 973 employees. Very interesting, very fascinating. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more bonus ones. Now, these are more established companies, but they have some exposure to outer space stuff. Space stuff. That's what we're getting at. So, Lockheed Martin, they're at $616 right now. They were down on Friday 1.63%. Over the past 5 days, they're down 2.02%. Over the past month, they are down 5.5%. Over the past 6 months, they are down they're up. Over the past 6 months, they're up 21.81%. Year to date, they are up 26.89%. On a 1-year chart, they're up 29.23%. On a 5-year chart, they are up 58.9%. On a maximum chart, they are up, this goes back to March 17th, 1995. They're up 2,194.28%. Now, Lockheed Martin, they're a more established situation, a more established company. They pay a dividend of 2.25%, a quarterly dividend of $3.45. They have a PE ratio of 28.56, so this is an established, profitable company. A 52-week high of $692, a 52-week low of $410.11, with an EPS of $21.49. They have 230.08 million shares outstanding and 123,000 employees. All right, we'll do one more here. So here we go. Last one here, Alphabet. You can go GOOG or GOOGL. They're both going to be kind of similar kind of situation. They have direct exposure to SpaceX. They own about a 7.5% stake in SpaceX itself. So this is actually about the best way to get exposure without directly getting into SpaceX itself. So that's very interesting to me. So they're currently sitting at $316.30, down 7.17% on Friday. Over the past 5 days, they're up 7.14%. Over the past month, they are up 2.41%. Over the past 6 months, they are up 29.1%. Year to date, they're up 0.65%. Over the past year, they're up 98.14%. Over the past 5 years, they're up 176.35%. And on a maximum chart going back to March 28th, 2014, they're up 1,031.23%. Now, Google, Alphabet, they pay a dividend of 0.27%. That's 21 cents a quarter with a PE ratio of 29.23. A 52-week high of $350.15, a 52-week low of $148.40, with an EPS of $10.81, and 5.44 billion shares outstanding with 191,000 employees. So guys, with the big SpaceX IPO coming up, a lot of these space stocks might start to make some moves. And, do your own research, but check them out. Maybe think about them. Who knows? If you're into that kind of stuff, which I am. I'm into making money. I'm sure you guys are. If you watch this till the end, congratulations. You did something with your time today. Maybe instead of watching Brain Rot, you sat here and watched your cousin Dustin look at some stocks. So, good job.